My name's Sharon Midlin. I'm a Leeds Community Connect coordinator. Leeds Community Connect is part of a larger project called Time to Shine and is funded by the National Lottery. The project is commissioned by Leeds Older People's Forum, and it's to set up community hubs in 3 rural villages in the northeast of Leeds. The project is to tackle social isolation and loneliness amongst older people and to allow older people to have a say in what services and activities they take part in.
So my name is Julia Edmonds and I'm the Assistant Programme Manager for Time to Shine. The Big Lottery fund the national programme, which is Fulfilling Lives, Ageing Better, and they fund 14 different areas. In Leeds, they're funding Leeds Older People's Forum. And Leeds Older People's Forum then commission activity to delivery partners, third sector delivery partners, who deliver the activity on the ground. But in addition, Leeds Older People's Forum works with a core partnership of people, of organisations and individuals, 50% of whom are older people themselves. And they were involved in the initial consultation at the beginning, and they have been involved since then in managing the whole programme. And there are something like 18 partners on that core partnership. And then something like 60 individuals or so have been involved in that core partnership.
Today we're in Scholes, and as you can see, the group's held in St Philip's Church. The Scholes Community Hub is run by Alan and a group of volunteers. The group's well attended with over 40 members.
My name's Nora. I do cards. I make cards, birthday cards, and so I make that. I used to do Keep Fit, but I don't anymore. But there's other things that you can do if you want to. So I enjoy it. And the company means a lot because you're with other people, and if you live alone, it's a good thing. And I enjoy making the cards and the things I have done, you know. And you get a cup of tea and a piece of cake, so that's nice as well. You make new friends, but you also see people that you see in the village as well. So it's nice to meet people. You know more people that way, don't you? You know, and it's company, mainly company a lot, I think, really.
My name's Alan. I'm the person that organises Elmeet Elderberries. So with a wonderful team of volunteers here that make the event run lively and smoothly. All I have to do is make sure that we get a bit of money in to fund it and a lot of volunteers to work it. So Elmeet Elderberries is more of a place for people to come and be, to make a friend and to engage in some sort of activity which they find helpful, stimulating, meaningful, challenging. When I set this up, what I did not want to do was just create a place where people would come and sit and have a cup of tea or a biscuit and meet people who were also looking for a place to come and sit and have a cup of tea and a biscuit. Wanted this to be a multi-activity centre for older people to come and find something worthwhile and new and stimulating and challenging to do. So here we have watercolour painting, we have crafting, we have help to find your family history. We've also done conversational French. We have stretching exercises with some diet advice. We do board games, table games, chess, dominoes, whatever you want to do like that, Scrabble. And we've got a brass band for beginners group. So everything we do here is designed for people who've not done it before.
To date, the project has achieved many goals. First and foremost, up to 100 older people have been accessing and participating in the project. Of these, probably at least half are what we would classify lonely and isolated. Older people are having more say in what they want, they're happier with the project, and what we're seeing is people are coming out more and they're passing it on to friends and telling people to come along.
In this village, which is a small village on the east side of Leeds, the demographics suggest that it's got a higher percentage of people aged over 65 than most communities have. And as part of my role within the church here, I've discovered there's also quite a lot of bereaved people or lonely people, shut-in people in this community. When you look at a community like this from the outside, it looks affluent, leafy, suburb type of place. But behind front doors, there's a need. So we set up this so that older people, and older unfortunately is decided at over 55 rather than that, could come meet other people. So there's definitely a need here. And a lot of people in this community are lively, active, engaged in life, go out to many other different groups. And some of those come here and create the right atmosphere for the other people who maybe don't get out quite so much, who've got a narrower circle of friendships, who find socialising is not natural to them. So if they come here, they'll probably see somebody they've seen at the shop or in the village, around and about, and they can just begin to open up life again.
It's a social thing as well.
So currently there is research into the triggers of social isolation and loneliness, but what there isn't is any validated evidence about the interventions which can address and alleviate social isolation and loneliness. What we know in Leeds is that there are over 240,000 older people, of whom about 15% identify as being socially isolated or lonely. So that's basically around about 37,000 older people. And that group is growing, the number of older people is increasing. And we also know nationally that for the last 50 years, something like 10% of older people have said that they are socially isolated and lonely. And that figure has been consistent for that period. So social isolation and loneliness isn't a new concept. At the heart of tackling social isolation and loneliness are relationships. Those are really the things that need to change. And that it's not about service delivery, it's about helping people to build relationships. We know things like transport can be difficult, but it's not the only problem. We know that short-term interventions aren't really going to address the issue. So, for example, a 6-week course wouldn't work. What we really need is interventions which are longer term, which are flexible, and which are sustainable.
I know that a lot of people come here and come out of their front door to get here, but I also know that there are a lot of people who are still shut in behind their front door who would really value being here if we could just get them here. And the next challenge is to find a way of encouraging the more retired, shy, more socially excluded people to come into this wonderfully live, vibrant, friendly atmosphere that happens here every Monday afternoon. That's the challenge. And we're already beginning to see, like in the last couple of weeks, one lady who doesn't need to come has brought her neighbour across the road who does need to come. He doesn't get out at all otherwise. So that's the challenge now.
Monday morning, first thing I think is, it's Elderberries today. I'm Susan, and I started to come here because we have a neighbour, Jack, who's 88, lives on his own, and he doesn't see a lot of people from day to day, week to week. And so when Elderberries opened, I thought that would be a lovely idea for him. And I tried to persuade him to come on his own, but because he's doesn't know a lot of people in the village and is a quiet man, he wouldn't come on his own. So I started coming with him to sort of like, give him somebody to sit with and not be on his own. And I really enjoyed it. And I found that even if Jack didn't want to come, I'd come on my own, because I like doing the exercises that Tony does. The atmosphere in here is lovely. It's a really nice, warm atmosphere. The people are lovely. There's always somebody to talk to. I've been on holiday for 10 days and people were saying to Jack, you come last week, I'm glad you came on your own. And it's given him confidence to come up on his own. People had met him and made him tea and got him to sit down and do the exercises, and he's getting more confidence now, which is a good thing.
All the projects are very different. which you'd expect as they're community driven. But what they are doing is getting people together, enable them to make friends and find out what's going on in the community around them as well. So linking people in to support services, networks, people that have been isolated that might not have friends or might not know their neighbours.
The key to the success of this project is the enthusiasm of the volunteers who run each of the groups. They are absolutely brilliant people. They're all retired people. They all give their time completely freely, and they all just bring out the best in the people that come.
It's all wiggly. It's all shapes and sizes. I'm Jack, and I volunteered to show the people here how to use computers. To me, the whole thing is a challenge. These are intelligent, capable people who want to complete their knowledge, and they keep on asking the most awkward questions. And I have to really strain, but I enjoy it. It keeps me alive. It keeps me actually learning. And a teacher who isn't learning isn't teaching. Normally, when you're teaching computing, you have a curriculum to go by. But for these people, they've already had a taste of what they're doing. But they want to fill in the gaps. So I've had to dig into what they do know to find out where the gaps are. And then once I've found them, we get stuck in.
At Collingham, Diana set up a digital skills hub.
Hello, yes, I'm Diana, and I'm one of the organisers of the Computer Cafe in Collingham. Following Rural Action Yorkshire's pilot project last year, the parish council was interested in extending the project into the village of Collingham, and I, with a team of volunteers, have been organising it since January of this year. We quickly enrolled a team of 20 volunteers who were happy to come along twice a month to support the cafe, and as words spread, we engaged with a large number of older people who wanted to come along with particularly their iPads, and find out how to make fuller use of them. I think the secret of the success of the project has been that we've got a large number of volunteers, so each session we have a talk on a particular subject, after which our clients are able to have one-to-one assistance with any of their personal difficulties. One of the challenges for the catering team has been never knowing whether we're going to have 35 people arrive for lunch, or on a lovely day, or when there's an outing in the village, we might only have 8. So actually, the financial constraints have been quite challenging, and for that we've been very grateful for a small grant given to us by Rural Action Yorkshire while we get established. The chance to come and have a homemade lunch has proved hugely popular, particularly amongst the older people who are perhaps living on their own and don't now cook as much as they used to. We've been asked now by the local GP practice to go on their, I think it's called social prescription opportunity, so that they can, suggest to people that they can come and join us, somewhere to come out to, that sort of thing. And we've got a very exciting new project. We're setting up a pop-up cinema in the area. We're really excited about that, and that will run the opposite weeks to the Computer Cafe, so that there is a weekly opportunity for people to come out, have a lunch, have a social activity in the afternoon.
Swillingham is a traditional mining village. Jackie, the lead volunteer there, was the chair of the parish council. She had an idea that she wanted to get funds together to help older people in the community. The group meets on a Monday and a Friday at the village hall.
Hello, I'm Jackie Smith, and I'm the volunteer coordinator for elderberries here in Swillington. It's accepted that we are becoming an elderly population, and here in Swillington more so, because we outstrip our national statistics for elderly and also lone households. And so the need was definitely here. And that's why, the group was set up. It took off pretty well right from the start, which was very rewarding from my point of view and the others. And we also did really well with volunteers. All our volunteers are local people.
I'm Kathleen and I was born in Leeds and I live now in Swillington. I was a teacher and I do crafts personally, you know, and some of the ladies asked me if I would show them how to do things by hand for Christmas. You know, Jackie asked me to come and just would I teach if they wanted it. They were looking in the first year for things to pass time and different, you know. So that's how I came to be coming here. And then they closed our library in the village and I can't manage without books. So I could borrow them from here. As many as I wanted, you know. When I come now, I come for the pleasure of the company, for people to talk to.
I've had a lot of positive feedback, and one of the best things that somebody said to me was, this is the best thing I've ever joined in his life, and this is a man in his 80s. And I just thought that was fabulous, you know, that he could say that. It is personally very rewarding, and I think that's the biggest draw for our volunteers, is the personal reward that they get from seeing people get together. They're creating new friendships, and they're also re-establishing friendships that they may be, you know, people had years and years ago, but as they've become less mobile, perhaps a little introverted, less well, that they stay in the house, they stay at home and they don't see people. And now by coming to Elderberries, they're meeting people that they've known since, well, they went to school together. And now they're re-establishing those connections and that friendship, and it's so rewarding to see that. You know, volunteering, everybody says it brings its own rewards, and there's nothing truer than that.
It's no good sitting about in a house and moaning. You've got to get off your bottom and go out and meet people and make the effort. You have to put a bit in to get something back.
The day trips have been rewarding, and they are so popular because these are people who, you know, they have mobility problems, they don't have access to a car or can't even get on a bus. So we provide the minibus here from the village hall, and we take them out for the day, and that can be to a local market town on market day, or we went up the canal to Brighouse, and we're going to Whitby on the steam train from Pickering, and oversubscribed these trips, and it's all on a non-for-profit basis. So that's been, you know, it's been great.
The trips are wonderful. Bill does all the trips arranging, and they're always very well planned. A lot of us have enough money to pay for things, but we don't want to go on our own. We've had some marvellous talks, security talks we had. We went out home with all sorts of bits and pieces that they gave us, you know, whistles and things to tie your purse to your handbag so nobody could, all sorts of bits they gave us. And the talks are excellent. Jackie's very careful what she chooses.
Over the course of the 6 years, we aim to reach 15,000 older people and help to address social isolation and loneliness. The message we're wanting to get across is that social isolation and loneliness shouldn't be a natural part of ageing, and that it becomes everybody's business.
I think this is somewhere that would be lovely for everywhere. You know, every now and then, like we used to have years ago, we used to have youth clubs. Well, I think we should have old clubs for people over a certain age, that they can come in somewhere and do activities. Why not?
I mean, when I was first on my own, I knew very few people. But now, through coming here and going to the coffee morning, I know a lot more people now. And it's friendly then. It's not a lonely place anymore. And that's what I think means a lot, really. Just making friends. Yes, we've enjoyed it.